Welcome back to What Are Noobs with General Disturbance. This is a T-28E with the F-30 gun. It's a Tier 4 Soviet medium tank, premium medium. It's located on the southwest spawn of Westfield and it's under the command of Fluffylilkitten. Now this replay took place during one of Zoball's live streams and you can see there's the Tronics UK in the Matilda. And on the enemy team, there's me. Yes, I'm actually in the Sturmpanzer II, the Tier 4 German Arty. In fact, there's a couple of members of REBRN on the opposite team as well. I Like to Penetrate is also in REBRN, and I think there's also some other members on Fluffy's team as well. Pretty sure. Well, anyway, this game was taking part during the live stream, and I think it was either with Zoballs or it was actually with D-Tronics on his Twitch live stream. And at this moment, nobody's found the enemy yet, but yes, we do encounter each other a little later. The T-28E with the F-30, they only built one prototype with the 85mm gun, but like all the T-28s, yeah, I'm afraid it was woefully underpowered, but the 85mm gun was extremely good and very potent, and they did think about putting it onto other tanks, specifically the KV-220. Nice shot there from Fluffy. He got the rear of the VK3001D, and he's got him again, and he's been taken out of the game by the AMD. Fluffy's right at the edge of the map at the moment, moving up slowly because of course he doesn't want to get spotted. The 85mm gun he's using has actually got an alpha damage of 160, penetrating 120mm of armor with standard AP, and that goes up to 161mm with the APCR. But what this tank is more famous for is the fact that it gets these 85mm high explosive rounds, which will do 280 alpha, and they will penetrate 43mm of armor. And of course, most of the tanks at Tier 4 have less armor than that, so you can actually fire nothing but the HE gun, HE round rather, and do a lot of damage to the enemy very quickly. The only problem is, the only drawback is the reload time. It's 5 seconds, which is quite long, and the tank is actually quite slow, very sluggish to turn and traverse, and so he is vulnerable if he gets detected, but he can do a lot of damage if he uses the right shell. And at this moment he's using the wrong one. He's using AP, which of course he doesn't need to do because most of the tanks he's going to come across are Tier 4. Okay, there's Matilda, Tier 4. You see the piercing round goes straight through it, but he might have actually got better results with the HE rounds on that one. I think he's decided he's going to move up, and we'll see if this is a mistake in a while. Only 3 tanks have died so far, but he's getting closer and closer to my howitzer, and that could be a problem in a short while. Well, they've spotted an enemy light tank over on the other side of the valley, an AMD 178B. And according to the mini-map, they are having problems because they've lost the Churchill 1 up in the northwest corner of the map. He knocks a tree down, but he hasn't been spotted yet. But that might change very shortly, because if one of the light tanks that's guarding this cap sees him, he might start getting fire. Well, the AMD 178B has gone all the way down to the houses in the far northeast corner, but he hasn't found any Arty. And that's because I wasn't down there. I actually moved to a different position, and there's the enemy AMD 178B. He's being chased by a bunch of enemy, but there I am. And he sees me now, and he can see my Arty fire moving on the enemy. You see, I'm on the opposite hill And he can just make me out. I think he's trying for a shot. Can he get around in? No, that one went high. You can see me as a target. He had an outline for a short while. That shell went right over the top of me. Still trying. Nope, still getting over the top. Nope, that one hit the ground. No, I'm not sure about that one. I think that one did actually hit me, but they're one tank down at the moment. And the thing is, the bad thing for Fluffy is he has been seen. And that means now that he can be fired on. Now he does something very reckless here. He drives out onto the bridge. Now, yeah, it does extend your view range, but that's what happens. You get spotted, and when you get spotted, you start receiving rounds. And that was an Arty round coming in there. He's already received a round from an M10 RBFM, and there's more rounds landing near him. Yep, and that M10's having another go at him. So the answer really is, don't go out on the bridge. If you do, you might get hit. Now that old M10 RBFM, he could fire HE rounds at that and pen it. But he is getting pens with the standard AP. But his team is not doing so well. They're 3 tanks down on the enemy. And I'm still alive and I'm still firing rounds. He's trying to get the tanks on the other side of the valley. He briefly saw an M10 RBFM there for a moment, but he lost him because the Panzer IIIJ is no longer spotting him. So he's moved up a bit closer himself. Now he can see the Panzer IVH. Gets a nice hit. Using the bush mechanic on using the trees to get shots. But the M10's repositioning and he sees him this time. And he gets a nice hit there. Kills the M10. Yep, you can see the Panzer IV.
Enemy armor is damaged.
And yes, another good hit. Go for the kill. Yes, he gets him.
They're knocked out.
So there's only 2 left on his team. And yeah, I'm afraid D-Tronics was taken out of the game. He was in the Matilda. He got 2 kills, but he was taken out. And now it's just Fluffy and the T-3485M. And he's relocating. You can see trees going down on the opposite side of the valley, but since there's nobody spotting, he can't... Oh, no, he's spotted an OI experimental on the other side of the valley. And the problem is that that guy's going down into the valley, and he's got fairly strong armour. He's loading the APCR to have a pop. Nope. Doesn't get anything. Can't see the guy now. There's the other T-3485M. And we're capping at the other end. So Fluffy now has to go back and get the resets. And so at this moment he sees the OI experimental is coming up the other side of the valley. And if he does try to drive away, he might get shot at by that guy. But he's decided to stay and leave the reset to the T-3485M. And he's going to try and ambush that OI as he's going up the hill, I think. But if he does get too close to the edge, he will get spotted and then he'll get fired on by Arty. And that's me. There's the Stug 3G. He locks on, but his first shot ricochets off the Stug and he takes around for 130. I'm afraid the second shot doesn't pen, but the T-3485M takes it out and he's just been hit by the M44. And he's been ammo-racked. He's hugging the edge of the cliff, trying to use gun depression or create gun depression because this tank really doesn't have much in the way of gun depression. The OI experimental goes down to the T-3485M. That's an Arty round. I think that was probably me. And he moves away from the position, but I think they've left it too late now and they cannot get back to the cap in time. And so sadly it's going to be a loss. 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2, 1, and that's it. They've lost the game, but at least he stayed alive right till the end. So the T-28E with the F-30 gun. Not a bad tank actually. Let's have a look at the end of battle stats. Well, we can see, yes, it was a defeat, but Fluffy managed to get a third-class tanker in this game, and he also managed to get a sharpshooter for getting 10 or more consecutive hits on the enemy, and a fire for effect for doing more damage than the hit points to his own vehicle. He actually took out 2 tanks which were a higher tier than him. That was the Panzer Mark IV-H and the M10 RBFM. They're both tier 5. He was tier 4, and that earned him a Lehvaslaiho's medal. He also got a win rate of 5,098, so you can see, wasn't such a noob this time. I would say that there's a bit of a running joke in the clan that Fluffy is called the noob, but in actual fact, no, on this occasion, he wasn't the noob. He actually did play it rather well. He did stay alive until the end of the game, but I'm afraid he did lose the game because they didn't go back to reset when he should have. He was too interested in taking out the OI, and as a consequence, they lost the game. We can see that the highest damage in the game was actually done by the T-34E. He got 3,019 hit points of damage. The next high scorer was in fact Fluffy on his own team with 1,564 hit points. And after that it was the AMD 178B on our team with 1,207. And I think we can see that D-Tronics managed to get 260 hit points and 2 kills before he was killed. And yes, I was alive at the end of the game. I got 1,048 hit points and 1 kill. And when it came to kills, yes, it was shared between the T-34E and the Su-76G FT. Both had 3 kills. Fluffy had joint second place because he came in with 2 kills along with the M44 and D-Tronics' Matilda, and also the M10 RBFM, the VK3601H and the Panzer Mark IV-H on the enemy team. And when it came to base XP, yes, I'm afraid it's our team who came out on top. Yep, the M10 RBFM got 911, the VK3601H got 828, and after that it was the T-34E with 703. And yes, you can see that I also managed to get 485 base XP. Not that much more than Fluffy, but yes, I was alive and I was on the winning team at the end of the game. And yes, the other members of REBRN, their design liked to penetrate in his Matilda, did 230 hit points of damage, didn't get any kills but got 202 XP. And on the enemy team, I'm looking for another player that I think Brown Bear might be, I'm not sure. I think he is a member of REBRN, and it was in the Valiant and got 552 hit points of damage, unless I'm wrong. He might not be. I don't know. I don't know all the members of REBRN. It's a growing clan. There's a lot of members. Anyway, let's have a look at detail for Fluffy. He fired 22 85mm rounds, got 14 direct hits and 11 penetrations, damage of 1,564 hit points, of which 1,410 were at more than 300 meters. He received 4 hits from the enemy in that game. All 4 penetrated. The armor on the T-28E is pretty paltry. In fact, it's not very good at all. Most shots will penetrate it if they hit it, and it's quite a big tank as well. So the best thing to do is to play it as a standoff tank, rather like a TD, and shoot from long range, and then use that 85mm gun to get as much damage as you can on the enemy and avoid getting any return fire. 5 enemy vehicles were damaged, 2 killed, and 150 hit points of damage assistance. He earned 35,592 credits, got 5,471 for courageous resistance, and that brought up a total of 41,063. He got that because he got the Lehvaslaiho's medal, which is an epic medal. And after repair, ammunition, resupply and consumables took away a profit of 30,297 credits. He received 682 XP, 444 for courageous resistance, 564 for this being a premium vehicle, and took away 1,690 experience points altogether. So I definitely recommend getting the T-28E with the F-30 gun because it's a lot of fun, especially with those HE rounds, the 85mm HE rounds, because they do a lot of damage to tanks which are tier 3 or tier 4, and at tier 5 they might have problems, but this likely to penetrate. Tier 6, yes, you probably do need to use the AP and the APCR to get pens on those, but even so, you've still got a lot of penetration with standard rounds. So, pretty good game by Fluffy, and it was funny because, yes, I was on the opposite side. I think I do actually have the replay for this battle somewhere. I might look it up and I might make this a dual perspective game, but for the moment, we'll put it onto the channel so that Fluffy can watch it again. If you enjoyed that replay, please give it a like and do subscribe to our channel, and thanks for watching.